Okay, Jacob here, and I thought I'd do this video as a response to what's going on between Dhorpatan, UK Christian 28, and other users. Dhorpatan is an atheist on YouTube who claims that Christianity is borrowed from pagan origins and that Jesus never existed as a historic figure. Recently, UK Christian 28 made a video where he has informed his subscribers they accepted Dhorpatan's challenge and where Dhorpatan will find scripture in the Bible that is pagan in origin. He has stated that he will research the pagan parallels. If he is wrong, he will admit that he is wrong. At least that's what he claims. In the comment section of UK Christian 28's video, Dhorpatan has claimed that he believes that we should only rely on the English translations of the Bible in order to prove the pagan parallels, because he believes that they are considered accurate enough to prove the parallels. He seems to think, at least from my understanding, that taking into account of context and origin of the original Bible, or the scrolls, is some sort of ad hoc fallacy that gets in the way of finding the pagan parallels. There is, of course, a lot of problems with this idea. I hate to say this, but no, Dhorpatan, I'm sorry, but taking into account of a text's origins and the native language, or its original language, is vital in order to find proof that there are parallels between one system of beliefs to another, or if something is derived from another. You claiming that Christianity is derived from pagan myths is something you have to prove using scriptures with the original language and context in mind. Using only a translation, especially English translation, is utterly, completely ridiculous. To illustrate this point, allow me to talk about literary works from famous writers to illustrate my point. Throughout the ages, various writers from different styles and genres have used literary techniques to express their ideas and themes to their readers. Writers such as Ernest Hemingway, Charles Bukowski, William Faulkner, and Flannery O'Connor have used different techniques to express ideas to their readers. To illustrate how Dhorpatan's idea of researching parallels is flawed, we will focus on Ernest Hemingway and Charles Bukowski as our prime example. If we were to look at these two quotes by these two writers, one can argue that the semantics of these quotes are similar in style and technique. They are examples of how we use the English language to express ideas and themes. Now, let's say you want to find some sort of parallels between Bukowski's Post Office and Hemingway's The Old Man, the Sea. Problem is, your native language is Spanish, and you know very little English, which is the original language the works were written in. So in order to even read the two books by Bukowski and Hemingway, you have to rely on the Spanish translations. You want to find out if Post Office has any literary parallels with The Old Man, the Sea. In order to do that, you obviously have to do research. You have to have an understanding of the history of the book, the way it was written, Bukowski's style, influences, and so on and so on. In order to understand if there are parallels between the two books, if your native language is Spanish, you have to get some sort of idea of the English words that cannot be translated in Spanish and be able to understand the context and some sort of understanding of some aspects of certain English words in their proper context in order to find the parallels. Now, that doesn't mean you have to know English or be fluent in it. It means that you have to, in order to understand there are parallels between Bukowski's work and Hemingway's work, you have to get some understanding of the original versions in order to find parallels. If we were to apply the same criteria to finding parallels to the Bible, it would make it easier for us to find any pagan parallels, if there were any, in Christianity based on the criteria we established for finding literary parallels between Bukowski and Hemingway. However, if we were to put ourselves in Dhorpatan logic mode, we cannot do that because we can only rely on our Spanish translations of these two books by Bukowski and Hemingway. Even though only relying on the translations to find the literary parallels we're looking for hinders our search for them. But according to Dhorpatan's logic, that's not a problem, for only looking at the Spanish translations of Hemingway and Bukowski are enough to find parallels because context is not necessary and we can easily interpret accurately where the parallels are only in the Spanish translations of two literary works that can only be properly found in the English versions. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, Dhorpatan, but if you want to convince us that there are pagan parallels in Christianity, you need to abide by the rules. You need to do actual research, not just randomly go on Wikipedia relying on the random crap you find on the internet. You also need to take into account the original language written in, the context, and the times they were written, and show us they are of pagan origin. If you're not willing to take into account the Bible's original language, context, and historic background, then your research is worthless, and you will be rightfully accused of committing intellectual dishonesty. If you're watching this, you're probably thinking, how can you possibly convince us, without a doubt, that Christianity is deprived from pagan myths? If you want to convince us, you gotta abide by these rules. One of them is no Wikipedia. Use books and articles written by credentialed, reliable historians in relevant fields such as archaeology or biblical history. Go for peer-reviewed articles in historic journals, and try to find academic websites and journals from accredited universities such as Oxford or Princeton. But most importantly, do not use pseudo-scholarship. I repeat that. Do not use pseudo-scholarship. If you use pseudo-scholarship, we'll just laugh in your face and not take you seriously. There is no easy way around this, Dhorpatan. If you're watching this, please be intellectually honest and actually look at the evidence. I hope you enjoyed this and have a good day.